I'm starting now.
I believe in you.
Welcome to Off the Stage Podcast.
Welcome to the Off Stage Podcast with Conor Michael, James Berry, and North Shields legend, Larry Page.
Yeah.
How you doing, Larry?
I'm doing champion, Conor. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Man.
You're looking well.
Thank you very much. It's just an appearance. So yeah, obviously I'm saying from North Shields, but can you give us a little bit of a background to yourself, how you got to music and who you are?
Well, it's all started at school back in the early 70s. Played my first gig with my school pals on the 22nd July 1974 at the Royal Banqueting House in Whitley Bay. And I should have realised then what the music business was all about, because the promoter ran off with all the money. So I got paid.
You forget
Very first gig didn't get paid.
Oh no!
You forget when you do music when you're young. You forget the business part, where like people are really just out to get every little
Squeeze the
penny
pennies
out.
out.
Yeah.
And then, from then on, I went and played in different bands. I played in rock bands, soul bands, dinner dance band for 6 years. And about 15 years ago, I decided to go to the solo acoustic thing.
Yeah.
So I started doing solo acoustic from then. That's what I've been really concentrating on since then. Apart from me and a pal of mine called Steve Rudd, we write songs under the name of On Parole UK. We've got 3 albums out. Old Shoes and New Laces, Odd Socks and Barefoot Blues. And I've also contributed to 2 other albums called Testaments and Northumbrian and Proud, where a lad called Jackie Davison just gave us the words. Just said, start writing songs. And we took all of our songs up to Steve Coates at Red Tape Music. Do you know Steve?
I don't think I do.
Oh, great bloke. Multi-instrumentalist, fantastic studio, got all the gear. And he puts drum things on for you, and he can do trombones and all sorts of things. So that's where we record all our stuff. So at the moment I'm sort of on the winding down to Greater Obscurity tour.
Okay.
I'm trying to get my 50th anniversary gig which will be the 22nd July next year, so that's my target at the moment.
Where would you like to put the gig on?
Well, last year I did the Battlesteads Beer Festival up in Wark, Northumberland. So that was like 49 years. But I would like to actually put a special gig on and invite all the people who I know I've played with over the years, or who I've played with along with at different venues, and have a big party.
It's a hell of a milestone, like 50 years.
So did you say that's 50 years from your first gig?
Yeah. But obviously I was practicing before that, learning the guitar and stuff and things like that. But it was great when you started out, because we used to have a residency at the Red Lion in Erzon. Do you know the Red Lion?
I know it well.
It used to be local. We had this residency, and it was quite funny because on a Tuesday night we'd get about 40 people, the same 40 people would come along, and we got away with like doing half of our own stuff and half covers, and we're doing things like Wishbone Ash, Leonard Skinner and Alex Harvey and all this stuff, but doing a half of our own stuff. And the crowd obviously got to know your stuff because they're coming every week, so it just became like a cover really, because they knew all the stuff. It was really, really good. But nowadays, trying to do your own stuff anyway, it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really difficult. I don't know, do you obviously do original stuff yourselves, do you?
I try to. The 9 to 5 job for me is the cover gigs, so I'm in this bar quite a lot. Which I should mention, we're at the Dubliner again, in the Newcastle on the Quayside. Thank you very much, Dan, for letting us use this for our 4th in a row.
Are you still going out like 3 times a weekend or 5 times a weekend, like Dave?
If I'm having a quiet week,
I don't know how you just do it.
But in terms of like the original shows, like I'll put on the odd one here and there, but it takes a lot of effort to put them on, because you've got to do ticket events, find the venues that'll let that put on, and then find the crowd. That's the toughest bit.
Yeah, it's the hardest bit. I mean, we were doing stuff, me and Steve Rudd, and a harmonica up there called Steve Payne. We were doing stuff at the Exchange for nothing, just to get people to come and hear our own stuff. Even then we only had about 25-30 people came along, and hardly anybody who I knew from the music, which is quite disappointing really, so it's really difficult to do that.
But it's good to get like a new audience in.
Actually it's better when you play it to people you don't know, because there's no like, you get what you're given, don't you? And they'll let you know how good or bad the night's been, so when your friends will just go,
I remember the first time I headlined Surf Cafe, and I was like, I know 60% of the people in the room, but I was like, that's 40% of people that have come to see the show, and I'm like, okay, now the pressure's on. I know Ashley's going to be like, oh, that was a good gig, but like random folk at the back, like, Yeah, that's the aim.
It's
the
always
new audience.
Yeah.
That was a great gig, the Surf Cafe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely magic place. You could hear a pin drop when you were playing. It was just really fantastic. That's what music's all about, should be all about.
That should be.
You know yourself, you play in the pubs now, and it's a ride, isn't it?
People, thing is,
nightmare last night.
It's tough because I say people just want to like they'll go out and they want to hear songs that they know.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it odd. We do no regrets, don't we? In the points, I try not to, but you go, do one of your songs. For God's sake. People like it though.
I forced James to play his own song, and he's like, "No, they're not going to do it." And the entire bar are bouncing for it. I'm like, keep the atmosphere.
You can chuck one in now and again. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is good. And you can avoid doing Sweet Caroline. It's even better.
If it's that Wonderwall.
Yeah.
Anything Sam Bender at the minute, that's like the new Wonderwall. Play 17 going under. Calm down.
Well, I'll tell you, these albums that I did with my friend Steve Rudd, we've got loads of guest musicians on them. I've got Liam Fender playing keyboards on a couple of songs. There's one as a video out there called Osprey. It's called Osprey by Larry Page, and it's videoed by Steve in high HD and all this. It's a great video, and Liam's on that playing keys. We've also had another lad called Gordon Hall playing keyboards, who's fantastic. Mick Lorraine on sax, an actor called Philip Corbett doing sax, clarinet. We had Steve Payne doing the harmonica. So I had some really nice guests on those albums as well, you know, and they're really well done. And honestly, you should go and see Steve, because I hope he doesn't mind saying this, but he's not expensive.
Yeah.
You know, compared to some studios where they're charging you £70 an hour.
Yeah.
He just gives you like a daily rate, and it's well worth going to see him.
Yeah.
Honestly, it is. Yeah.
Good.
Aye.
So when obviously you're getting into music, who do you say your influences were that got you there, and who kind of continued you through for 50 years?
The first thing that really got us was when I heard Heartbreaker by Led Zeppelin off Led Zeppelin 2, and that riff at the beginning, down, and I just from now, that's the stuff for me. And then I went on to Rory Gallagher, and I saw Rory Gallagher. Must have seen him a dozen times. And his live performance, he was just magic. It was all the 70s classic rock, like Deep Purple, Wishbone Ash, Zeppelin, you know, all that sort of stuff. That's what started me.
We saw this podcast in Sunderland, and there was a running joke that every episode we did there was a siren. Right. We've just had about 20 go past the room there.
I thought about Shields for a second.
Happened at the episode we just recorded before as well. Siren popped up. I just didn't want to mention it. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, it was all 70s rock and stuff now. Then, but if I go and see anybody now, it's nearly always somebody doing jazz.
Yeah.
Like I know Martin Taylor, the jazz guitarist, quite well, and I see him after shows and stuff like this, and I just rather go and see them, because when you go and see these people, the audience are really respectful.
Yeah.
You know, and they just listen.
Yeah.
And the playing is just sublime. It's just like unbelievable. You know, you think I could practice for the next 100 years every day of the year, and I would never get anything near that. You know. But it was all 70s rock back in the day. Obviously, had the hair down here. You know, that didn't last very long.
I don't think I'm going to get to that level, to be honest. I get it here before it falls out. James is scared to cut his hair. He's one cut away from it never coming back.
I'm 35-year-old now, so it's just like the minute this gets cut, it's not going back. So I'm just like holding on to it as long as possible.
Hey, good stuff, yeah. I'm talking about doing local gigs, like, you know, you get some funny comments, don't you? I don't know, I was saying to you on that, you want 3 questions, and I said one of them was, what's your best ever heckle?
Yeah.
I was playing, you know, the Flass Inn in Durham?
Yes.
Shawmoor?
Yeah.
I was playing there once, I was just about to start, I was like that, and this bloke from the back shouted, have you left your legs at home? Because I'm obviously not that tall. I found it so funny I couldn't start for 5 minutes because I was laughing that hard.
Yeah.
What's your best ever heckle?
Oh, my best heckle. They're not funny heckles. I get a couple of mean crowds, you know. I was in here once not long ago, and this fella was like, oh, let me get up on stage, and I was like, no. And then he stood on the stage and went, get off the stage. Great podcast, by the way. And he was like, I'm a better singer, I'm better than you, I'm better than you. And over the mic I went, well, if you're better than me, how come I'm the one with the guitar and you're the one begging to get on stage? And the entire crowd were like, way, cheerio, cheerio. And they all chatted him out. He wasn't impressed, but people think they're
brilliant.
You get it a lot with like it's Stage Invaders.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I'm a musician, so I can sing. So if you're a musician, you know the rule is get the heck off my stage.
Yeah, you don't.
Because you wouldn't like it if someone was on yours, you know?
Yeah. You would only go up there if you were invited, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
No,
absolutely right.
Absolutely. No,
Right,
no.
everyone says, "Oh, can I get up? I'm a musician." It's like, no, you're not. Because if you're a musician, you play as much of us as us. The last thing you want to do on your day off is get up and sing a song.
Yeah, like, I was saying earlier, I had a gig yesterday, and I had some fella approach us near the stage who's like, "Oh, I was mid-song," and he was like, "Excuse me." So I was like, "Everybody stop, this guy's got something important to say." And I was like, "What would you like?" He says, "Look, I'm on your side, but they don't like you. And they're like me, so you should get me on stage." So I was like, "Ladies and gents, this guy seems to think you don't like me. Do you like me?" Way! Right, sorry mate, I'm going to continue with my show.
I also like the ones where it's normally a woman. They'll come, "Hey, can me friend sing with it? 'Cause she's geek good."
yeah.
One. Had a million times that one.
All the time.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Why not? It's like, because I want you to.
I just go COVID.
Yeah.
Can't blame me, mate.
Yeah. We don't share toothbrushes. It's just like.
What's your favourite heckle you've had?
I don't get many heckles, to be honest. I usually, or at least, I don't listen to them. I mean, the one that sticks out is if someone just says, "Play something good." He says, "Well, what's good?" It's like, "I don't know." It's like, "Why are you asking?"
I love that.
Like, you just sat down, like, just like, "Play something good." I'm like, "Well, it's subjective to begin with, but
Play something good. No, here's one of my own.
yeah."
I did have a rather nasty once. This woman, I was in the Duke Sheng, no shields, and this woman came up. I thought, "Oh, she's going to ask us for a request." So I leant down. She goes, "Average."
Oh, wow. Well, that's because she's below average, you know.
That wasn't very pleasant.
There was one time when I was playing one of my own songs. "Play something we know." So, "All right, I'll do you a deal. I'll play one of my songs, one you've never heard of before, a song you've never heard of before, and then after that song, I'll play you a song that you know." So I went to play this Espresso Martini song. So I started playing the Espresso Martini song. So, "Do you like that?" "Yeah. Right, now here's a song that you know," and I just played the Espresso Martini song again.
Like that.
Similar sort of thing. I was in this band, and it was like a rock band at the time, and the singer, I'll not mention his name, he's a great musician and he's a good lad. But anyway, we played Deep Purple, Black Knight, right? So diddle-diddle-diddle. Finished the song, and he goes, "Right, we'd like to do a song by Deep Purple now called Black Knight." I just looked at him and went, "We've just done it, man." He was completely off the map. Crazy, absolutely crazy.
I like them ones though. And just before we get to the end of the first part, obviously you say you wrote loads of songs before.
Yeah.
Which would you say is the most personal song to you, and what's it about?
Well, I wrote this song back in the Second World War. My dad's sister was sent on a message.
I thought you were about to say you wrote the song in the Second World War. It's like, you're not that bad.
No,
back in the trenches.
Just about. I feel like that sometimes. No, back in the Second World War, it was 1941, and the German bombers had come across. They were coming back from Glasgow, and they decided to drop their bombs on Byker.
Yeah.
That's where my dad was born. The battlefield is called the estate behind the Tanner's Arms. Used to be an estate there. And they bombed a couple of the houses out. And my dad's sister, she was 7 at the time, she got she was sent to go on a message to the shops. And she went past this bomb hole and she fell in. She went in the bomb hole and she didn't come out. So this young scout, 12-year-old lad, he said, "Oh, I'll go down and get her." So he lowered him down. He didn't come up. Then our uncle turned up, it was a fireman, off-duty fireman, and he went down, he didn't come up. And then 2 more firemen went down. One didn't come up, one did come up. So eventually this bloke called Larry Young, ironically called Larry, went down and got them all out, but they're all dead. So I wrote this song called the Battlefield Biker Tragedy, and it's on YouTube. There's a video, we made a great video of it. Yeah. So that was probably the most tragic and personal song to me, you know. So when I'm playing that one live, if I do get the chance to do it, I'm just
feel it hit you.
Yeah, I'm filling up with that one a bit, you know.
That's good.
But it was dead funny. I said, "Well, where were you?" Where Irene went down this bomb. He was 6, she was 7. I goes, "Where were you?" He says, "Oh, I was with me mate fishing for tiddlers down the Eusburn." 6-year-old, just wandering off, you know, miles away.
Yeah.
That was what it was like then, wasn't it? You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So that was quite. That's my most personal song, yeah. But that's on YouTube. Battlefield Biker Tragedy.
I'll have to take a listen.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll take a short break. We'll come back with part 2 with a couple of Q&As.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next.
What's happening, guys? It's Conor Michael here, and to let you know that my latest single, Horse Outside, is available now, only on Spotify, because with it technically being a cover, it's not on iTunes. So make sure you stream it. For some reason, Glasgow's really took off, Newcastle not so much. Horse Outside, Spotify. Check it out. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. Nay!
Cool.
We're back, baby!
Welcome back to Off the Stage. Conor Michael, Larry Page, James Berry, Dubliner, Newcastle. So part 2, just a little bit of a Q&A kind of thing. You've probably got many to choose from, but which is your favourite gig story?
Favourite gig story? Been going to a gig?
Either, whether you've been part of the gig or in the crowd.
God, that's a quite difficult one to answer because there's been that many over 49 years. I think my favourite story was I was playing this really rough bar in Felon in this band. It got to half time and I go to the toilet and I stand there and this bloke came along with with his crutches. He stood next to me and says, "How, mate, can you do us a favour?" And I went, "Sorry, can you do us a favour?" And I'm looking at these crutches, I'm going, "Oh." He says, "Can you turn your guitar up?" And then I came out of that gig, I got in my car and I drove off and the police car came straight behind us, pulled us over. I goes, "Oh," he says, "Where have you been?" He says, "I've been playing that pub up the road in the band." He says, "What's the name of the band?" I says, "Behind Bars." So that was on the scene. So that's one of my favourite stories. Yeah, very good. I know, quite a laugh.
Yeah.
But it was quite strange.
It's a good job you weren't in like a band that was like, "Go fuck the pigs" or something like that. Would have a very different story to that.
The cuffs would have been on, wouldn't they?
So I was meant to put an Instagram post up yesterday, but I'm not gonna lie, I forgot. So I did it this morning. And we did get a question. And we've got at Mrs. Berry Insta said, "What's your favourite pub in North Shields?"
Oh, got to be the Low Lights.
I thought it would be.
Got to be the Low Lights. I've been playing there every month for this year. I think I'm doing Christmas Eve. I'm doing a couple of hours there, and it's just I went for Christmas dinner pie. Have you had one of those?
No.
Christmas dinner pie.
Ooh, that's like festive bake times 100. That is like
it's magnificent. And
pie.
The food, the beer, the atmosphere. Monday night buskers is just great.
You've blown his mind.
Christmas dinner in a pie.
Yeah. They're only on Christmas Eve, mind, so you better hurry.
Is it only at the Low Lights?
Aye. Yeah.
Apologies everybody watching this. You have to wait till December, but
yeah.
I think we're off to North Shields after this.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never, you know what? It's such an easy, simple idea, and I've just never even put the 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
It's like 2 of my favourite foods. Oh, shit in hell. Yeah. That is genius.
Yeah, I love the Low Lights. It's great.
He's got a little bit of an illness at the minute, James. So he was very
Mind
quiet on the last
slow.
episode, and you just slowly see him perking up.
It's the Guinness. Honestly, it's just the little
mini
Guinness. Mini Guinea.
You like Guinness, you should try a barista stout. Have you had that? Barista stout. It's really... The only place I've seen it is the Quaker House in Darlington, though. So you're going to have a hard job finding it somewhere.
To the Low Lights and then the Quaker House.
Give the Low Lights. I've only been there once, to be honest. The Low Lights.
I've done a couple of open mic nights when I was first starting out.
Yeah.
That's me. They're the 2 places I love to play. The Low Lights and the Quaker House in Darlington.
Yeah.
Quaker House in Darlington. I played there on Sunday, just gone. And I finished off with a winter song by Alan Hull. You know, winter song? And you could have heard a pin drop in this place. It was just silence. I went, wow, this is putting us off.
Yeah.
You don't normally get that, do you?
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So with the podcast, what we do, we get questions from last week's guest.
Right.
Okay. So it's going to be a weird order because last week's guest didn't give us this question, but in our last recording was a band called Bear Park. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Obviously from Bear Park in Durham, or
They're from Gateshead, but they chose a name randomly on Google Maps, which happened to be Bear Park Durham.
Just like the name of it.
So 3 questions that they're giving us is, if you worked in a bar and had 3 pumps, what would be on the 3 pumps?
3 pumps, I would have Barista Stout,
Yeah.
Guinness.
Yeah.
Hard lines for the people who don't like stout. And Tontine, Cameron's Tontine,
Yeah.
which is another stout.
A bit of a stout drink, right?
Yeah. I'm a Guinness man. Yeah, they're the 3 I would have on, definitely.
I think I'd agree with the Guinness.
Yeah, I think you have to have, like, even though it is like, it's very commercial, but everyone has the Guinness, but there's probably a reason for it, to be fair. Like, it's a very it's a nice beer, isn't it? It's just
Because of my lack of enjoying coffee, Red Bull would be one of my tops. But realistically, if I was just going alcohol drinks,
I like that Aspal cider, and I like Blonde Star beer as well, which is like lighter beers, you know.
I like neck oils. Nice. And then what's we normally record in a pub in Sunderland where they do like craft ales and stuff every week, changes, and we always get like a mystery sour drink.
Right.
Was it the bubblegum sour? Was that one?
bubblegum sour. That was.
I think that was the best one we'd had,
heartburn in
wasn't
a glass. That though, like you have a few sips and you just.
There was one that was just like, I can't remember which one it was.
I've seen that daft one, Bob Streisand.
Yeah.
I can't get away with the craft ales, to be quite honest with you. I'm not a fan.
I've got that song Barbara Streisand in my head. Bob Streisand.
I'd have Jakehead, even though it blows your head off, but that's like it's proper hazy, thick, flipping yogurty beer. It's like I love it. That Guinness, and I'd probably be like a cider of some sort. Because I usually like a shit cider, especially if I'm feeling a bit down, because like the sugar content just like perks you up. You can only have one of them, because like after that it's too sweet.
Like a Fruity. Surprised that's not on your list, you know.
I know, usually
sponsored by them.
It would be Fruity, it should be Fruity, but
You've got to have cider's got to be dry, hasn't it? Really?
Yeah, that's it.
Can't have
I'm
them
not a fan of
sweet
ciders.
things. Nah, rubble.
good old Wolsey as well.
Kind of Heineken.
So there's nobody coming to my barn anyway.
I'll do only for a pint. We got, if you were on a desert island and you only had one album that you could listen to, which album would you choose to have?
It's got to be a toss-up between Spirit of Django by Martin Taylor and Machine Head by Deep Purple. One of those. Probably the Martin Taylor one.
Yeah.
He's got some fantastic musicians on that with him as well. Just sublime playing, great tunes, you know. So that's one of those two, probably.
Yeah. I don't know what my album would be.
I don't know.
Probably ask you next week, it'll be different, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
It always changes.
What's yours?
I mean, the thing is, right, there'll be a one that I really like that I haven't listened to in a while, which is why it's kind of like, but I'll probably listen to it a few times and I'll get like bored of it again. But it'll be, I'd probably say like Bringing It All Back Home by Dylan. It's one of my favourites.
Oh, I'm gonna have some kind of like mainstream pop thing, you know. Like I'll probably be like an Ollie Murs album's one of my favourite. I love Ollie Murs. Probably his fourth one. Never Been Better.
Yeah.
Good one to take a listen to.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've had him do a video clip for before on the pod.
Well, I've actually heard people my age who have actually seen him said he's actually really good live. You know, I reckon he's tremendous.
He is. I've seen him 6 times.
Yeah.
And then the final question we got from Bear Park, I'm going to give you the PG version because they asked a different one before. Are you excited for Grand Theft Auto 6?
What?
I'm assuming you don't play video games.
The last time I played a video game, you know those little ping pong things that went ding, 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 and you had to split.
Was it called Pong?
Pong.
Pong.
That was the last time I played a video game.
Oh, you're missing out. You get that new FIFA game.
I'm not a gamer.
Get
Pong 2. I don't know if there's a Pong 2 actually. There must be a Pong 2.
Not a game.
Yeah, we'll take a short break and we'll be back with part 3.
Yep, absolutely.
He has got a soundboard that you'll be able to hear when you watch the episode. At the minute, it's just come through that little headset.
Right, okay.
But yeah, welcome back to Off the Stage podcast with me, Conor Michael. This is James Berry. This is Larry Page, and we are at Dubliner in Newcastle on the quayside. Big shout out because the gaffers have walked in and behind the cameras. We've got to make it look professional now. So obviously this episode comes out at the very beginning of 2024. And I know you touched upon the big 50th anniversary in July. But what have you got coming out this year? Any big plans? Anything we need to keep an eye out?
Well, I'm just winding down greater obscurity, like I said before, and I'm just going to try and do 2 or 3 gigs a month, local Quaker House in April I've got coming up. But we're also writing a song, me and my mate Steve Rudd, with an old drummer of ours who just wanted to write a song. So he's given us some words, and so we started this week. We're hoping to get that recorded and get it out there somewhere early in 2024. So that would be a nice little project to do, you know. So
absolutely,
that's like a sci-fi sort of theme, about 2150. So watch out for that one. But I'm just going to try and do more showcases, original showcases.
Like open mic nights and stuff.
Open mic. I go down to Low Lights on a Monday, and I go down to Alfie and Pins and time on a Thursday night.
When is the Low Lights one?
Monday night.
Monday night. Oh, that's typical.
It's I know, right? It's the day we record the podcast normally.
Touch wood. It's normally one of the better ones because the crowd are normally quiet when you're playing.
Yeah.
And it's always chocker, you know. But it's really good night.
Take a couple Mondays off. Yeah. You get ourselves down.
To be fair, now that we know we can probably do this, like start like one. We get like individuals just coming here early on, like 12 o'clock. We could probably take a few Mondays off.
Yeah,
just have a few Mondays. Yeah. That's when most
won't mind.
It's good to see us. Good to see you.
But yeah, might do that because like I've got a few things coming out 2024, and I want to start doing more open mic nights to kind of get that original. I'm getting a proper glare off the table. I don't know how I'll pick this seat. Oh my god,
this light's barely. You don't even need it to be fair, because
to be fair, you know what I mean. I know you guys you're out like gigging like 10 times a week or something, whatever it is. I just couldn't physically do that now. Like,
I'm struggling like
when you're singing, people don't realise how. If you were singing for 2 hours, they don't realise how physical it is.
It's a muscle you're using.
Yeah, belting it out on you for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And at the end, you know what it's like. You're thinking of the chords, you're remembering all the words. Then you're looking around the audience, seeing who's coming in next. Will they like this song? And your mind's working in so many facets.
It does it.
It's
it wears you out.
Yeah.
Like when you constantly, because especially when you're mid-song thinking about the lyrics, but then you're also mid-song thinking about what song you're going to play next, and then what song you're going to play. It's like this is a constant kind of thing. It's a constant.
It's a proper wear out.
It is a really the concentration levels are phenomenal when you're doing a gig.
Yeah.
People just think you turn up and plug in and go.
It's
not like that at all.
No.
Well, it's like they say, like chess players. I think they eat like 5,000, 6,000 calories because like they're constantly thinking, and it's like the brain takes up so much energy. It's just like you don't realise it because it's not like necessarily like manual work, is it? Because you're not like lifting stuff or working a lot. But if you did like 8 hours non-stop, like I'm sure Scott feels sometimes because he does it.
I've done that gig here before. I did a 9-hour gig here once. It was fun, and then I did another 2 on after. And straight after it fills. So when obviously you touching back on it in the first part, and you're saying you do your recording, you've got the fella with obviously all the instruments that you can do. What would you say your recording process is? Do you write the song demo then studio, or do you just?
No, what we've been doing in the past is I've been like doing the chord sequence and the words and everything, and I've sent him a WhatsApp of me playing it at the most basic level, just not even a PA, and just send it to him like that. My other friend Steve Rudd, he's got a Reaper at home, so he can do bits and bobs and he records it properly. When I'm doing a song of my own, I just send him it like that. When I get to the studio, he's nearly always got maybe the chord sequence worked out and everything, and the drums worked out. You know what we'll do is after that we'll do a guide, another guide, acoustic guitar, guide vocal, and then it's just like layers after that, right? We'll put the electric guitar on, put the bass on, the keyboards go in, don't need any brass, strings, blah blah blah, and it's just like a layering system, like we'll build it up like that. And then when we get to you've got to stop somewhere, and then we'll get to a point where we say, right, that's the version, and we'll go from there. And of course Steve can play guitar, bass, mandolin, piano, so as well as being the recording engineer, and he's also got great ideas. I'll tell you another thing as well. I did this song called Going Home Tomorrow, which I got the words from Jackie Davison, and it's like a blues thing, but it's about him going around the world. So I said to Steve, I says, look, the first bit's in America, can you come have like a big band sound? So you had the big band coming in. He says, well, the next bit, he's in Africa, come off some African drums. Next thing I don't, and he's putting in the Graceland's guitar to get the diddly, you know. And we just did the song, and at the end I just can't make it a bit folky because he's back home, and he just seems to be able to read your mind. You know, how can you do this? Can you do this? And it's exactly what you've been thinking of. He puts on the record. It's amazing. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but I recommend you check him out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And obviously, as well as having done many a gig yourself, I presume you will have met many a decent musician player.
Oh, God.
Many a non-decent, but many a decent. Would you be able to give us a recommended shout out for a few local artists that you think our viewers should go check out and give them a little following?
Well, I like the Smoking Spitfires at the Clooney, first Sunday of the month. They do like big soul, massive brass section.
Yeah.
And all that, like, load of the money from the door goes to charity for that one. Local musicians, Tony Bengtson. You seen him, Tony?
I think about Tony.
He's like a country man, cracking voice, really poignant songs about how hard life can be and stuff. Tony's a really good player. But you've got so many, haven't you? I mean, the lads your age, I know loads of people like yourselves who are all really top of the game, you know, like Dave Red I've seen a few times, you know. Somebody, I haven't seen this girl, but somebody said Paige Templey's really good.
Really good,
I haven't seen her.
We've had a band on Live and Local for HMV.
Yes, I have.
It's in a country band called Tall Shaves.
Yeah, and there's just
Taylor.
Nick Gladys you probably had down here, have you, Nick?
No.
We haven't. Have we had him booked and we've got to rearrange? The name rings a bell.
He cancelled. We haven't rearranged.
Yeah.
I supported him. He was doing an album launch, and me and he made Steve and Tony Bengtson were the support acts, and he had this band with him, and the drummer and the bass player were just like,
That was Shannon.
the playing.
No, that was John and Adam from the Shannon Hill.
Oh yeah.
Well, these
They're
two lads playing
unbelievable, like
in a band called Hot Spice. Have you
Hot
seen
Spike,
that?
yeah.
That absolutely
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce, that's it.
Hot
Hot
sauce,
sauce.
aye.
Tremendous players, you know. So out the ones I've seen out, they're the ones that need checking out, I think, you know. But there's just so many good people around now.
Yeah.
Mind this, I've seen the odd. I think, what are they doing gigging, you know? And
We gave up and we started podcasting.
Yeah.
like when they're singing the wrong tune and playing the wrong chords, you think, well, they've got the words right anyway.
Yeah. That's more than me.
That's being cruel, isn't it? You know?
No, never. So we normally ask for like socials for people to drop you a follow. How often would you say you're active on social media? How much do you engage with people online?
Every gig I do, I advertise the nth degree on Facebook, and I stick reels up and I put stuff on Instagram, and I can't do any more than advertise the gig. So the venue can never say you haven't pushed yourself, you know. So I just, that's what I do. I get it out there as much as I can. Probably like yourselves, you know, you've got to promote the venue as well as yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, that's it.
And that the venue
Dublin and
then.
Newcastle.
The venue, the Dublin, what's the postcode?
Anyone?
The venue then appreciate it.
Something like that.
I think the most important advice I would give to anybody, and you coming up with young kids, I saw a 14-year-old kid the other night, he was absolutely brilliant. He was beating himself up because he thought he'd messed this song up.
Yeah.
I says, well, first thing, never apologise, and just make sure you do everything as professionally as possible. Like, get to the venue on time, set your gear up, be polite with all the staff, you know, just all the things that you should do automatically, you know. And if you run it as a business like that, you've got much more chance of getting asked back, haven't you?
Yeah, that's it.
In your
There's
portfolio.
loads of people I could name that I'm not gonna, that I know do the opposite.
Yeah. Well, what about the ones that just don't turn up?
Yeah.
You know. You know, so
Yeah. Why are you looking at me? Yes, I did forget about a gig yesterday. That's fine.
there's a difference between forgetting and not turning up.
Well, to be fair, I just didn't know. Yeah. 'Cause
Extra sense of perception.
We're in a group
Where
chat,
am I on tonight?
and Lee was like, James, you know you're meant to be on stage. He's like, wait, I'm in the house.
I wasn't actually. I was dying in the car getting stuck. But you know, potato.
So what are your social tags if people were to drop you a follow and kind of see where you'd be next?
Just go on Facebook, Larry Page Acoustic Music.
Yeah.
Or Instagram, Larry Page .790, I think it is.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure we'll add it on the link.
yeah.
And then just finally, it's been a really good chat podcast, to be fair.
Yeah.
The final thing is, obviously, we're going to get you to play a song at the end. Which song are you going to play for us?
I'm going to do an acoustic version of a song called Oh John Lennon, which is about how crap the world is at the moment and how all these rich people are ripping them all off. It's a bit of a protest song, really. So I'm going to do that one. On the video for this one, we've got me playing acoustic guitar, my mate Steve playing acoustic guitar and bass, and Steve playing harmonica, and Steve Coates does a lovely bit of slide guitar in it. So, but I'm just going to do it acoustically, obviously.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you very much.
How many attempts do I get?
6.
You only get one shot, do not miss a chance. This opportunity goes once in a lifetime.
Please continue singing that song, Larry. I'd love to see you breaking some Eminem there. Thank you very much. We'll set this up. We'll get you on for our pub table sessions. We'll see you on part 4.
Yep. Ba-ba-boom.
A song called "Oh John Lennon." For the many, not the few, suits will always tell us what to do, bringing rules to help us all. Lying, cheating, down we fall. When rich men die, there will be no sky. A world left grey, other children will pay. It's time to rise up and fight the good fight. The people's revolution, it's on its way. Oh, John Lennon, turning in your grave, give peace a chance was all you crave. How much money do rich people need? A million, billion, a trillion. There's so much greed. Tax the workers, make them pay. Let them think that they have a say. You wring them out, you put them in the ground. You take their voice until there is no sound. When rich men die, there will be no sky. World left grey, other children will pay. It's time to rise up and fight the good fight. The people's revolution, it's on its way. Oh, John Lennon, turning in your grave, give peace a chance was all you crave. How much money do rich people need? A million, billion, a trillion. There's so much greed. Oceans have become a dumping ground. People make loads of money chopping down trees. Rivers can't flow with the chemical waste. They wind and wind but won't reach the sea. When rich men die, there will be no sky. A world left grey, other children will pay. Time to rise up and fight the good fight. The people's revolution, it's on its way. Oh, John Lennon, turning in your grave, give peace a chance was all you crave. How much money do rich people need? A million, billion, a trillion. There's so much greed. How much money do rich people need? A million, billion, a trillion. There's so much greed.
Hey, this is Busted, and you've been listening to Off the Stage.